Okay, welcome back. In this video, we're going to cover what are called polar angles. It's how you enter angles in AutoCAD to draw geometry. So, full disclosure, there are two ways that this can be done. There's a command, a variable, a setting, if you will, that needs to be changed depending on how you prefer to draw. Basically, AutoCAD uses polar coordinates with the center of the circle here. To the right is 0 degrees, vertical is 90, 180, 270 for vertical down, and then back to 0 or 360 because they're the same thing. Now, currently in AutoCAD, out of the box, when you draw a line, command line, specify first point, and that's going to be the intersection of these two lines, which is also the center of the circle. If I see my dynamic input, the first blue box that I have currently, 9.7914, is my length of my line. If I hit tab, I get to my angle, and I can alternate by hitting tab between those two. So if I change my distance to, let's say, 6, hit tab, now I can change my angle, or I can use my mouse. And we can see that that angle is measured from my 0 down here up to 90, 180. Now this is where things get a little tricky. AutoCAD then flips this. I don't like the way that this is set up. It makes it, in my opinion, more difficult to find angles when you have to take something from 0 to 180 and then flip it from 0 to 180 in the opposite direction. So here we're going counterclockwise. Here we're actually going clockwise with our angle. I don't like that. I find that students get frustrated easily because they're trying to figure out angles and it doesn't make sense. The command to change that is DYN mode, which stands for dynamic angle mode. Currently it should be set to 3. I prefer it and I teach it to be set to 1. And if we look at the change now from 0 degrees up to 90, and you can see right there it says midpoint, my dynamic input says 90 degrees. We can see that my number is increasing. When I hit 180 now, it's going to continue down to 270 and then back up to 0/360. So DYN mode, I would highly recommend you change that to 1. My templates will have that set to be 1 if you're using my drawing files to work on. If not, and you're wondering if you started drawing from scratch, why isn't this working correctly? DYN mode, change that setting to 1. That's going to cover angles. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.